What's going on? Welcome in. Welcome back. This is the Lower Rung podcast. I am your host, Austin Grubbs. My guest host here, John B. We are both sales reps over at Window Cleaning Resource, windowcleaner.com, if you didn't know. So welcome in. John, what's going on? I haven't seen you in weeks.
I know, man. How you doing? That was great intro, by the way. You killed it there. Yeah, no, it's been we had all the holiday hubbub. We had the site sale going. That was huge. I hope everybody was able to take advantage of that because obviously great deals on basically everything on the website that you can purchase. So yeah, I mean it was great holiday. Good to see family and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the 20% off, if you didn't know, that's the biggest sale we can possibly do for like margin sakes. 20% off the entire website. You really can't beat that. Tax deductions at the end of the year. You don't want to pay Uncle Sam. You want to pay yourself. So help your business and stuff like that. Obviously, I have 10 fingers and 10 toes. The fireworks didn't get me this year. So I see John B's alive. Good to see him.
Is that like a New Year's thing that I was unaware of? Like in my area, they didn't really do fireworks on New Year's.
Oh, dude, it's huge where I go because I go to the beach. So everyone just kind of crowds the beach and we do a big fireworks show. Um, Even when I got back, it was like, what is today, the third? Like on
Yeah,
the today's not the third. Third, yeah.
yeah.
When I got back to, I think I got back on the second. They were still popping fireworks in my neighborhood, and everyone leaves all their cardboard out and they expects the city to clean it up. I don't know.
Oh my god. Yeah, we would just go out with pots and pans when we were kids.
Mm, I like it. Red beans and rice fireworks. I like it.
Oh yeah. It's good stuff, man. Yeah, how was your holiday? Was it pretty good? Christmas and everything.
Yeah, I mean, we had all the kids over, the grandkids. We had a big Christmas thing. As I get older, Christmas is just another day. It's awesome. It's nice to be around the family. But when you get too caught up in like who's buying gifts for who,
Ooh.
like where does it stop? Do you get some for the cousins? Do you get the uncles? Like I've only met this guy 3 times, but I guess I'm gonna see him there. I don't know where it
Uh,
stops. So I don't know how you guys do it.
you got to do a Secret Santa for the kind of like extended family and everything, so that you're not looking for gifts for an aunt that you only see for Christmas. You're not getting stuff, for all these people that cousins and everybody's having kids, and it's just then you got to get the wife's parents. It just gets wild. So if you do the Secret Santa in your girl's family, your family, you only have to take care of like two gifts. Obviously you get the significant other gifts, and the kid. You take care of everybody around you close, but you're not giving Uncle Earl a fishing rod or something like that.
And when it comes to that, like I love white elephants. White elephant
Mm.
parties are my favorite. Stealing them and however you play. But like when you, let's say your father-in-law or whatever, like he has all the tools in the world. So if you go to Ace and get him like a multi-tool or like a knife or something, he's already got that. So like that's not a good Christmas present. And like it's just it goes on and on. It just becomes too much. So like holidays, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, I love them, but I also hate them. It's like, dude, can we just hang out? Have a bottle of whiskey together and just enjoy everybody and not like go into debt for this. Like,
Yeah, really. I mean, it starts to rack up, Like, I think I spent the day before Christmas Eve, of course, last minute stuff, getting gifts and remembering people that, like, would have probably got me something. So it's like, well, I don't want to, not get them anything if they were saying they got me something. And it becomes like a checklist of, like, are we good? Are we on good terms? Are we good? And then you got a couple of people. Oh, your gift! I think it's coming in the mail. It didn't come in just yet. Wink, wink.
I I don't give me anything. Just come, hang out, and have a good time. That's the way it
You,
is. But
you know what I did do for my brothers and close male relatives was I got a case of craft beers, and that came in 4 packs, and I was just handing them out. And
There you go.
I think that's nice. I don't expect anything in return, and it's just liquid anyway. So
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, if I'm doing like a friend's Christmas or friend's Thanksgiving, it's usually a bottle of whiskey and a couple cigars. We might go play golf together and then just hang out at the house. Like, I'm not going to get you a gift that you really don't want because we're all grown here. We can buy whatever we want anyways. So, I
totally.
mean, it's not worth it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that really says it all. I mean, it's really just about experiencing stuff. At least for me at this point.
Yeah, and we got the new year here. Everybody's gonna have their New Year's resolutions that they never amount to, and
Yeah, yeah,
spring's around the corner. So, I mean, it's obvious that you should buy all of your water fed equipment tomorrow when this airs.
yeah.
For one of us, just
Definitely.
saying.
Or at least get the conversation going. Let's talk about it. Spring's coming. Do you do any of that resolution stuff? I mean, I like to give myself a broad kind of goal, and then once I reach that, or hopefully if I do reach it through that year, I then go from there. I'm not like, here's one, here's the other thing I want to do. It's hard to do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really necessarily set goals. I know it's probably a good thing. Like, I always have a sales goal for the end of the month. I always have, how many customers I'd like to acquire this month and my revenue and stuff like that. But like one year, I can vaguely remember. I know I was living at my apartment. I didn't have a kid, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start going to the gym and get jacked, man. I'm gonna get swole.
Yeah.
So I went at like 4 in the morning the next day and I did a really good gym set. And the next day I couldn't move. I thought I broke everything in my body. My wife was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, the gym's not for me. It's just not. I'm
Right.
sorry." Like,
That is
I don't
tough, man, because you the first time you go, if you don't go for a little while, you do always kind of want to jump in on everything. I'm going to do cardio, I'm going to do back, leg. You even go for legs,
abs.
and yeah, you're going for everything. Even when you sit down in the car after that one workout, you're like, whoa. you know?
Well, I mean, I used to go to the gym a lot and then I stopped. So when I went back in, I just went to the same weights. I was like, I can lift the same amount that I
Oh,
did
yeah.
years ago. Like,
Right, right.
difference.
No, mentally you're there, but physically not so much. It's definitely a kind of process, I guess, which sucks because I never want to I don't know. I'm just tough with keeping it up, especially with the gym.
And I did do something new this year. I didn't do any cabbage or green bean or black eyed peas or whatever because every year I've done that and I'm always broke and I don't have any good luck. Speaking of horrible luck, I started off the new year with my truck blowing up. That happened like a
Yeah.
couple hours ago. So, best of luck to all of you out there. Hope your equipment is in top tier shape and your truck's in top tier shape. And best of luck to you guys because I'm not having the greatest luck. I didn't eat my cabbage and black eyed peas, so that's probably why it happened.
Brutal. I mean, better off blowing up rather, whether or not that's, terrible, obviously not good news, but I think a worse situation would be gear stolen.
Yes.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, dude.
Because that's kind of brutal. Obviously, your truck blowing up sucks, but
And
getting
speaking
stuff
of
stolen.
gear stolen, you should, if you don't, you should insure your gear because I've seen it too many times on the forum where they're like, dude, someone stole my destroyer, someone stole my system. I don't know how they can steal a system if you're using it. It's hooked up to the garden hose, but that's besides the point. You got to get that stuff insured because the insurance company will just write you a check for that. If you don't have insurance, then you're SOL.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, the odds are the guy who is stealing the gear doesn't even know what the gear is anyway, so they're
Yeah.
just trying to scrap stuff together and, hopefully sell it somehow. I don't even know what their
Pawn
motive.
shop.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, how many times do you see a unit on or like one of our systems on like eBay or something like that, and it's just like, is that the guy that bought it? You know, like I always wonder stuff like that. You know,
I
really
I've
used.
the only time I've ever had something stolen, and this wasn't a big deal, but I was so mad because I got into a fight with the homeowner. So I was doing this job,
Oh,
and there was like four of us of our company on the site, and there was painters and maids, and I think some like drywall guys or something. So obviously a bunch of contractors around. So I put all my gear inside, and I always start outside. So I did all my water fed. When I walked inside, all my gear was gone. I had a trad pole, a bucket, my towels, like not super expensive gear, but I was just looking around, and I'm like asking everybody, like, have you seen this? Have you seen this? And so I tell the homeowner, and she's like, "Are you accusing my contractors of stealing your stuff?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, I put it inside and it's gone. Does your house like eat trad poles? I mean, this doesn't make any sense." Like, I never got all that stuff back. I mean, it was just it is what it is.
you can't really. I mean, how many situations where you do get it back? You know, I mean,
I was thinking maybe a painter saw it and was like, "Ooh, I could use this to paint with, really, really tall." But hey, I
I
hope
guess
it's serving him well.
I think we've mentioned this before, but I do get people that hit me up that are painters who have painter poles and want to use those. And, you know, I guess those would serve you well for a little bit,
A
right?
carbon fiber painting pole, absolutely. And
Yeah.
uh, I've sold. I can't remember the company, and I feel bad because I'd sell to them every year. Every Christmas, they buy like 4 0 poles for Christmas lights. This Christmas
Oh,
lights
wow. Yeah.
company, they do really well with those poles. I had a guy call me today that he has a bar in the Virgin Islands, and he wants to mount like bolt zero trad poles into his deck. He's on the ocean, and hang them up and like tie lights to them to light up his underground seating area. And I was like, I've never heard that, but I will sell you 5 trad poles for that.
I want pictures. I mean,
Yeah.
definitely wasn't
Zero
me that you were
branding
talking to.
in the Virgin Islands. Like,
That's badass.
they get some weird inquiries about people buying these poles for literally anything.
Poles, systems, people trying to use systems for other stuff. You know, just, and we've talked about it before, I think, but you know, it's almost like you just want. Sometimes you're just like, can I just talk to a legit window cleaner today? I have people using it for their bathrooms, and I'm just like, come
Yeah, I
on.
tell my buddy all the time. He's like, "So, how's that gig go? You talk to all these window cleaners?" And I was like, "Actually, I don't talk to a lot of window cleaners at all. Like, it's homeowners and you know people that have never heard of window cleaning, and we're the first people to pop up." I had this one guy who wanted to use his zero pier for auto detailing, and like you said, how do you
Wow.
explain some of this? You're like, well, that may work, but I don't know. That's not for window cleaning. I've no idea.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've had people try and tell me what they want to use the products for, and I'm just like, I guess that could work. I don't know, you know. Like, I mean, you could try it, I guess. You know, I just want to reiterate that this is for window cleaning.
Yes. Super amazing.
It really is. But yeah, I with the new year coming in, I mean, it's that slow point of the year where I don't even know if we even want to touch the subject of like winter or not, or if that's even good luck, especially with your cabbage situation. But
Yeah, I know. I mean,
what's the weather
uh,
like by you right now?
it's like upper 40s, lower 50s. I actually had the generator guy come by and service the generator, and I was talking to him. And every time I talk to a contractor, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, December to February is horrible. It just translates to every contractor. No one wants you in their house during the holidays. I don't know about the cold weather. I guess homeowners are scared to call contractors when it's cold outside. I don't really know why that's a
I
thing.
don't know. I don't know. I guess it depends on the property because, you know, back when it used to snow here, you know, you would have plows that would, you know, just put a bunch of snow where you wouldn't expect it. And, you know, that can kind of get a little bit hairy. So maybe contractors are weary when they have like over a foot of snow or something like that. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, super weird.
But I
Um,
will say though, less of it is definitely getting done. They try to get stuff done in the fall as if they possibly can. But it's different now. I mean, we're actually supposed to get snow this weekend. It's supposed to be like 7 inches or something like that. That'll be the first storm we've had like that in maybe 2.5 years, something like that.
it's going to be a long drive to work for you through the snow. I love telling people that when I just like meet people at like get-togethers and stuff. They're like, "You work from home? Is that hard?" Yeah, I have to walk from the bed to my office. It's horrible.
I guess
Miserable.
mentally, that aspect. But for me, it's not much of an issue really. I mean, to get into the mode of work because like, even if you're not working the chat or anything like that on the website, for me, just getting up pretty early, 6:30, 7 o'clock, and then getting on the computer at like 8, or a little bit earlier to get things going, and you just want to jump right in pretty much. I don't know.
Yeah,
It hasn't been too difficult for me.
yeah, no, it's super awesome. I've before this I'd never had a job where I work from home, so it was just kind of weird. Like normally I would get up, go to the gas station, same energy drink, and it was just different job sites. So now I have to buy the energy drinks and keep them at home, and then just go to the fridge, and it's a different routine, but it's just like I'm here. I don't have a commute. It's super awesome. But
Yeah.
we still like in the field. I'll run into like Karens, and we do have a few Karens that pop up on the website because if you didn't know, we get calls from everywhere in the world, and but some of them are not window cleaners. So you get some weird like crazy homeowners or just people that are upset for nothing. And just have you had some pretty? Have you ever got cussed out over the phone yet? Has that happened to you?
Um, well, we had not directly. I did via voicemail. Because we really like we try and keep our marketing balanced and like not abrasive to people really. So we have these automated messages in the spring that come out, and sometimes we do them in the fall. And somebody was not pleased about us leaving this message, and I got it was
Tasteful
a
voice.
racial related terms were used, so I'll leave it at that, I guess. But really, really, mostly back when I was working customer service. Really, I mean, I get frustrated people sometimes, but you're just walking somebody through stuff, or like just trying to tell people like, hey, let me just see with the warehouse and we'll get right back to you. I know a lot of times guys are on jobs, so I want to make them realize that like it's important to us that we get their situation solved. It's not always going to get solved right there and then. A lot of times, hopefully, guys will realize that. But uh, I've been pretty lucky, I think, knock on wood. Like I said, a little bit frustrated toward agitated, but usually people will calm down because I try not to be aggressive, really, of course. But, when somebody's, angry with you, it's hard to not return it back. I don't know. How about
Yeah,
you? Do you have any glaring memories recently?
I mean, not off the top of my head. I do have two. One of them I heard through the grapevine where this guy was just like, hey, you sold me a defective item. We're like, okay, what's going on? He's like, well, it's not reading anymore. Well, come to find out, the resin was never changed, and it's been a year or a year and a half. And this guy was just like, well, you sold it to me. I didn't hear anything about changing filters. I'm like, well, do you put gas in your car? Do you do oil changes on your car? Like, what do you mean?
Right.
But I did get
I
yelled at by this guy one time because he was like a reverse osmosis scientist, apparently. And I just was not on his level. He knew way more than me, and I was a nobody and a peon. And he needed help, but he didn't want help from me. I was like, I don't have any
wow.
rocket scientist, RO scientist on staff here to help you.
Yeah. I've had a little bit of that where it's like, all right, well, why don't you just tell me what you know first, and then I can, tell you what I've learned, but yeah, I've had to. This one guy got he got a squeegee set up. I'm blanking on the brand. I think it was a wagtail. I forget which type, but I don't know what he wanted out of it. But I ended up basically saying, I think this product, I think you're just like making up a thing for this product to do that it never advertised that it would do, So I'm just like, it swivels around, it's not broken because of that. It is supposed to.
I
And
did.
I already used it, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm sorry about that, but it's pretty clear on the page.
Yeah, that happens a lot. I can think of two times off the top of my head where the first guy, I told him he was in Texas and he wanted a DI tank. And I was like, I'm not selling you a DI tank in Texas. I'm not going to do it because you're going to be upset in a couple months. It's not going to work out. And he was like, I'm telling you, I'm buying this. And I was like, okay, if you want, but I'm telling you. So a couple months go down the road and it doesn't work and it's never worked. And I was like, you can't return it. And he's like, just going on and on. I hate those. Now, like back then I put the order in because I was like, okay, I'll put the order in. Now I refuse to. I'm like, you can go check out on the website if you want. I don't want my name attached to it because I know where this is gonna go. I just know.
Yeah, yeah, you're better off, and that only proves that we just want to get people set up with the right stuff. I can't stress it enough. I mean, because sometimes and I have bought items off of websites, and whether or not they had a chat open, it probably wasn't as active as ours is, in that we like always try and get back to somebody pretty quickly. But I've gotten two components that weren't correct. We even go as far, if it isn't us, it is somebody in customer service, to look through orders and just, or even like a picker in the warehouse will like see something and just be like, hey, I don't know if they were getting these two together to work, because it wouldn't. We'll even have customer service reach out to the person and be like, hey, just want to make sure these don't work. And I just don't know another company that would do that in any field, really. It's pretty sweet. Did you freeze?
Yeah,
I think you might have froze a
yeah.
little bit.
I the
Oh, you're
customer
back.
service is absolutely amazing. Yeah, we were glitching a little bit. I speaking of that, I went to. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me all right? Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I went to Best Buy months ago to get one of those Wi-Fi boosters, and the guy was like, "Oh, those don't work. You need to buy like 4 routers and put them in your office, and like it's $400, but it's gonna." Yeah, I never got one because I never could get someone to help me. I think he was like a sleazy car salesman kind of guy, and I was just like, "I'm not doing it."
Yeah, those Best Buy sales reps, I think, just make commission or something like that, and are probably like barely ever have anybody in Best Buy who knows exactly what they want. So they're probably pretty miffed constantly. But I have one that works well. It uses the electricity in the house, I think, to connect to the actual router that it's plugged into via Ethernet. So somebody will tell you that you need receivers and like an Ethernet adapter port thing and stuff like that, and it's just like, no, no, you just need to know the product that you want to get, really, and hopefully
I mean,
Best Buy
I
has
kept
it, which
telling
they did.
him,
I actually got mine at Best Buy. I'll have to send you the model
"Yes, send me
number
the
and
link."
everything if you. Yeah, I will.
Send me the link. I think you have, but yeah, send that again. I'm just gonna go grab one because I kept
Yeah.
telling him I was like, dude, I just need a booster in my office, and he was like, well, and he kept telling me like on this gigantic like 4 case router, and I was like, I already have a router. He's like, no, but this like replaces your router. I
The
was like,
router that looks like a spider. You're just like, dude, I don't need 17 antennas. Thank you. We're not running an operation here.
man, it's not a meth lab. I just need
Yeah.
better Wi-Fi. Like,
That'd be great. A Wi-Fi with great fiber optic, or a meth lab with fiber optic Wi-Fi.
I was just like, all right, dude, you got me. I'm leaving. I'm
That
out
is
of
I'm
here.
out. That is an I'm out. because you know what you wanted. You know, I mean, when somebody tries to set you up with another thing, I always remember this situation where I was in a Zoomies as a kid, and we were going in just looking at shoes. I didn't know what brand I wanted, and this guy's like, "Oh, you got to try Audio. Audio are the best shoes. You know, they grip the board or whatever." And I'm just like, "I don't want Audio. I don't like how they look. I don't want an Audio shoe." And he was just like, "Get the Audio shoes." I'm like, "No, dude." It was
I
awful.
hate pushy salesmen. I am the exact opposite of pushy salesman. And like I have some people that call in and I know I have their best interest in heart. They don't because I'm a salesman. And I had this one guy recently. He was like, I just need the upfront cost of the cheapest setup. And I was like, okay, here it is. And he's like, no, I said the cheapest. I'm looking at the cheapest. And I was like, well, you're not in a soft water area. And so like he like left and then he called back. I was like, hey, it's me again. He's like, no, like I need someone to sell me the cheapest. I just was like, I
Oh
promise you,
god.
I'm not trying to like make you buy more. I'm just telling you. But anyways, yeah, I hate pushy salesmen.
It's not it rubs you the wrong way and it lingers. You know, I still remember that, and I think I was in like 6th grade, you know, that situation where it just gives you this like creepy feeling where you're just like, dude, go away. Like I'm out of the store already, you know?
Dude,
Crazy.
I don't know if I've told this story before, but I got one time. So I'm a big so
Hold up.
I walk
You're
in
glitching out a
and
little
I'm
bit.
just looking for stuff, and this guy, oh
Sorry. Just
no,
start that
no.
over again,
Am I
the
here?
story.
Am I there?
Yeah, you're good.
I got at Bass Pro Shop one time. And I love Bass Pro Shop. I was walking through, having a good time, and this guy was like just talking to me, and he was just like making conversation. I didn't know he worked there. And is my ringer going through or something?
No, you're good.
Okay. And I didn't even know he worked there. We were just talking, having a conversation. He's like, "So, do you have 5 minutes for me to tell you about my what's that thing timeshare?" He's like, "For my timeshare," and I was like, "Oh no, dude!" I was like, "I gotta go." He's like, "No, just 5 minutes." I was like, "I don't have 5 minutes." He's like, 30 seconds, and I was like, "Okay, 30 seconds. That's all you got." And he kept going, and my wife was there, and she was like, "It's such a good deal, $200." And I was like, no, like this is horrible. He's a salesman and he's trying to catch me, and I'm not. Well, I ended up buying it, and it was horrible. And
Oh god. Yeah,
going,
you learn from those experiences though, man. If you ever, even if it was just like a one-time thing where you know, you got caught, and if you get caught off guard, those are the worst things in the world because I, you know, I remember I think I was in college and I was super broke and I think like I ended up somehow donating money to buy the like Indian religious book, whatever that is. So somehow I ended up with like 3 of these Indian books just because they caught me off guard and I was just like, yeah, I don't know, here's $5, go away. They ended
it's
up giving me all
always
this literature.
it's always the salesmen who like want to know more about you. If anyone's like, "Hey, how's your day? How's the weather?" "Oh, you like the Eagles? I love the Eagles." Like, run. No one
Yeah, yeah.
cares. No one genuinely
It,
cares.
it's like a language that it's like sociopath sort of level because they're trying to relate to you seemingly, but really it's like, you know, they're chatting with somebody else while they're talking to you. They don't really care at all, you know? So it's like you definitely got to be weary of and like feel people out, especially if you're like over the phone or something like that, you know?
Yeah, it's I guarantee you, and I know I'm a salesman, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. But most of those weird, creepy salesmen that try to relate to you, they're trying to get a sale out of you. They're a salesman,
I take everything
but
with a
they're
grain
still
of
good salesmen.
resin.
There we go. There we go.
We should do you have to get out of here?
Yeah, I was about to say that was the
Yeah.
transmission shop that just called me. So I'm
Okay.
gonna go. I'm gonna go hang out with my broke truck and see what's going on. But we'll have a longer podcast next time. We'll be back. The holidays are done, so we'll be back to once a week. And
Go take care of
obviously,
your
we're both
tranny.
sales reps. So we're both sales reps over at windowcleaner.com. If you need anything, our numbers are on the screen. And I'll see you next time.
See you guys.